Before the crisis comes, you want to design a resilient reputation. You don't want to wait for the fallout. You want to build your brand armor right now. So let's discuss this. Welcome back to Serena's Playbook, the place where I am sharing tools, techniques, tutorials for you to level up your strategic thinking as a brand business owner. And I'm bringing you my 20 plus years in strategic communications and PR and the media. I'm a chartered public relations practitioner. I'm also studying systems thinking as an MSc. So let's get straight into why enough of us don't do this. We don't make our brands more resilient by thinking about our reputation. So, what you really need to do is first accept that being reactive is not a good look. It's just not going to work to be reactive. If something happens, do you want to just be responding emotionally without thinking and panicking? What we want to do first is we want to think about getting really fluent with our message or messages. What do we want to say in any risk situation, any risk scenario? Now, you know your brand and business best. You know where the risk areas are, I hope. List at least two, three would be excellent. The whole purpose of my channel and my trainings is to get us to reflect, to get you to reflect and map out different ways to think and different ways to implement your strategy, whether it's building your business or protecting your brand or looking at your content architecture. So you want to have a real think about at least two examples, at least two risk areas. Now, this isn't about trying to control the outcome because we can't do that. Our audience, our customers are so vocal and visible, it's hard for us to control what they think and when they think it. The best thing that we can do, though, is to be very fluent in our messaging and ensure that your messaging for any of those risk areas that I hope that you've thought of by now will have messaging that will align with your North Star, your core values. So, hopefully, by now you've identified your fragile points, whether it's to do with your public image or how you're delivering your business or any reliance that you have on technology. And if that fails, or if your audience aren't suddenly as loyal as you had always experienced them to be. So, you want to map out your responses as much as possible beforehand. Now, of course, when a situation hits, and you're having to think a little bit more sort of strategically on the spot, your messages might need a bit of tweaking and tailoring, and that's absolutely fine. That's actually the work of a PR. That's what we do on the spot. We have some preparation, but then when a crisis hits, we draw from that preparation and perhaps tweak and tailor to suit the situation. So now that you have thought of some risk fragile points and you've hopefully thought about how you would address those risks and fragile points, you want to design a reputation ecosystem. And within this ecosystem, it's like a reputation toolkit. You want to have some information about your audience, different audience segments that you have. What do they care about the most? And how are they responding to this particular risk? How will they respond to this particular risk? Then I want you to take a note of allies. You might have to look at your stakeholder map, but I want you to identify and articulate very clearly who your allies are. Now, I want you to look at your values again. You've got to ensure that any messaging, any responses that you prepare have your values and your mission at the heart of them. What you don't want is to be communicating something that is so far from your brand. It's so far from fitting into the true value, the core value, the alignment of your brand. Let me know if some of these have felt a little bit too abstract or conceptual. because thinking like a PR takes a little bit of time. It can feel like a bit of a cynical exercise. Some would even describe it as manipulative. It's strangely true. It's strangely true in the sense that you're having to anticipate your audience's sentiment, and then you're trying to avoid disappointment. And so you have to figure out how you're going to address them. We can get into the history of public relations, where it all started, on another episode. I think I actually already have an episode covering that. But as a brand and as a business, regardless of whether you're going to be spinning webs of stories and narratives, you still have a reputation that you want to protect. So, semantics aside, debate aside, you want to be as professional and ethical as possible when you are responding to any situation, any sticky situation with your audience, any at all. So that's why it's really important to be as prepared as possible. Look at those fragile areas, those risk areas, those fragile spots, and have a think, reflect on how you would handle it and who would it matter most to. You can also get a full reputation management and risk readiness masterclass right now. It's available via the description. There's a link there for you to click on. You can also find it directly from my site. And if you would like more from me, well, just go ahead and subscribe over here on the channel as well as on my site. It's so wonderful to have you here. Welcome if you're new, and do share your business and brand challenges. And I'll see you in the comment section and the next one.